Ehi, scialat! Venite a fare mangiate oggi e pagate fra 8 giorni. Venite, venite. Diamo questi pizze fritte.
Who can't remember Sofia Loren frying pizzas in the Sica's Loro di Napoli? Fried pizza is the ultimate typical street food of my town. Plain or stuffed, like the one I'm going to prepare. And deep fried, of course. In Naples it is served straight out of the fryer. How does one eat it? Standing with ice-cold beer and repeating, "Ouch, it's burning hot." So let's see what we need to make it. Water, flour, let's sand to dust into the work table, salt and yeast. I find it easier to work it with a planetary mixer, but you can use a bowl if you want. I'll start putting the flour, then the yeast. Should you like to use the fresh yeast instead of the dry one, you'll need about 3.5 grams per 1 gram of dry yeast. I'll add some water, 1/4 roughly. All I have to do now is to start the mixer for a few minutes at low speed. Now we need to add water slowly, waiting for it to be absorbed before adding more. Before adding the last dose of water, we need to put salt. I start the mixer again and then pour the water. All I have to do now is to wait for the dough to be fully kneaded. Finally, the dough is ready. I can unhook the planetary. See how it is kneaded. And I put it on the work table, putting a bit of flour beforehand, because it helps. Knead it a bit with my hands, flatten it a bit. Pull the corners up towards the middle to make it into a ball. After rounding the dough, I place it inside the bowl. Cover it with cling film. And now we only need a pinch of patience. Our dough needs to rise. I'll put it in the oven turned off but with the light on so that the environment gets to about 25-28 degrees. It will take about 3 hours. Here is our dough. It is 3 times its size. I'll transfer it to the work table, dusting it with some flour like before. I'll use a local scraper to help me get it out of the bowl. Yet another sprinkle of flour. And then I make a rope using my hands and I divide it into 4 parts. I'll shape every chunk to make it into a little ball. And now that all 4 are ready, I place them into a tray, keeping them fairly distant from each other, and I cover them with 2 layers of cling film. Mind the film shouldn't be too tight, otherwise there won't be room for the dough to rise. And now a little déjà vu. Back into the oven with the light on to let the dough rise. Here's the proof dough. All you have to do is stuff it. In Naples we say, what you put is what you find, which means that you can stuff the dough as you wish. Now I'm going to show you how I like it best with ingredients you can find all over Italy. Black pepper, salt, buffalo ricotta, peeled tomatoes, basil, salami like me, this is to say Naples style, Provola cheese, and finally oil, which I have already started warming up. It has to reach a temperature of about 170 degrees. I'm going to start now kneading the dough. I place it here and cover it back, otherwise the surface would dry up, making it hard to knead. And let's roll the dough without a rolling pin. The rolling pin can be used for fresh pasta. I've obtained a circle of about 30 centimeters. Now all I have to do is stuff it. I'll start with the buffalo ricotta, and I smooth it a bit with a spoon. I spoon some of the dough and spread it. As you can see, buffalo ricotta is much creamier than cow's, but should you only have the latter, you could mix it with some cream and add some salt. Let's go with the tomatoes. I chop them, a pinch of salt, and I pour some on the ricotta. Of course, this is an ingredient you can also cross out. In Naples you would easily find pork cicoli, which is a processed meat. But I'm in Milan and couldn't find it, so I'm using Naples salami instead. The same goes for Provola. In Naples you would find the Campania buffalo one, but I'm using the cow's one, which is equally fine. Then basil, hand torn. And finally pepper. Really a lot of pepper. You noticed I only spread the stuffing along one of the sides, didn't you? That's because I'm going to use the other side to close it into a crescent shape. I'm going to seal all edges to avoid stuffing coming out during cooking. Oil is hot, so all I have to do is to dip the pizza. Using a spoon, I wet the whole surface with the oil for even browning. Here it is, ready. I can drain it on this draining rack. If you don't have it, the usual plate with cooking paper will do. The first one is ready. I'm going to go ahead like this with all the others.
Signor, vi servo subito. Andate, andate. Per oggi il bancariello chiude a così, ma posso mangiare una pizza pure. Prima però già signora signora. Donna, Susetta, pizze, 2. E mo mi concedo la pizza. Ah, e come cuoce.
Did this recipe make you hungry? Cook it too and let me know.